So back up to the start we are now with the heat of the Temple Challenge Cup, race number 21. We have University of Michigan from the USA on the Buckinghamshire station, and we have Nottingham University on the Berkshire station.
Attention! Go!
And they're off, nice smooth start there, both getting out the blocks, just trying to get into their rhythm. And it's always difficult, I guess, when you come to Henley and you have a international crew come over that you've never gone up against, because you've got no form guide of where they are.
Yeah, I mean, it means you rate it like a blind race. It means you've got one chance, so you tend to rate it like a final from the start. You've got to put everything in. You can't be thinking about tomorrow's race because you've got to get through this one. But early signs are a very strong crew from Michigan.
And they've just come out the island there, coming to the booms. I was called the safe haven now.
Yeah, you've got that early sense, okay, who's had the speed out of the start? Have we matched it? Are we a little bit ahead? But of course, the important thing here is to get into the rhythm, because it's a long race. It can feel a really long race if you don't get yourself into a sustainable rhythm after that powered start with all the adrenaline that's unleashed when the umpire sets them off.
And just think about how explosive you go off the blocks. You're trying to class it as light it up. You're trying to get out quick, snappy, and obviously you progress and take the stroke length out as you go through that kind of transition into the kind of mid pace, and just making sure that cadence is at the right cadence for the crew to kind of go down the track, so everybody can unleash and be part of that rhythm and really send the power down.
And that's what's happening in the Michigan crew, is I think that the stroke setting up that nice rhythm that's letting all of those big guys behind him really work, and they're getting more power per stroke, and that's taking them away from the Nottingham crew.
And I suppose with an international crew, it's kind of getting that timing right, isn't it? When you come over, how soon before the regatta do you arrive, and making sure you've acclimatised as much as possible so you can go into the regatta ready to go, rather than still trying to catch up on sleep or feeling tired.
Yeah, I think so. When you're racing on the Wednesday, it's a little bit quieter. All the crowds aren't here, but you've got to put your marker down. You can't make any mistakes or you're out. So there'll be nerves on all sides as everybody's testing today, and then there'll be a form book after today, and people will have noticed times to the barrier and got their favourites and all of that. But at the moment, you're out there trying to put down a marker so that you're the favourites, and you want to put pressure on others. Michigan have certainly put pressure on Nottingham here.
That's so Michigan are just consolidating on their lead there. You see they're just a length up at the barrier. You can see the marker on the left-hand side of the screen. You see the umpires launch down the middle of the river.
The Nottingham crew were winners of the B final of University 8s at Marlow Regatta. They were 5th place and intermediate 8s at Bucks this year, so they've had some good racing experience sort of in the mix, but I think it's showing they haven't got enough form for this Michigan crew.
And the Michigan crew, who finished second at the ACRA Championships in the Varsity 8 category, the B finalists, the David Duval Regatta.
The quote is, "We're here to shock the world." So that's quite a statement to make, isn't it?
That is a big statement.
They've certainly put some shock and awe against Nottingham, who really have not seen very much of them since the end of the island.
No, and that's always a challenging thing, isn't it, racing head-to-head? If the crew gets out of sight, out of mind, it's very hard to kind of not start looking around and wondering where they are.
It is, and I think for Nottingham, it's about, have they got any other gears? Can they? How hard was their winter's training? How much can their cocks get out of them? But this is a dominant Michigan crew. They've clearly arrived wanting to make a statement. They're about more than just racing on Wednesday. And look at that, really powerful, very, very good rhythm, really good swing through the stroke. A lot of power to get harnessed together, but they're doing a good job there.
You see the concentration in the Michigan crew there, in their bubble, in their zone, looking straight down the boat.
Great power rhythm, that's what 8th rowing is about, a powerful rhythm. It allows people to work powerfully through the water yet recover on the way forward, and I think there's probably some big ergs in that Michigan crew, and at the moment they've done a good job of pushing down the puddles on Nottingham.
Is there much racing that you got to do in your career?
I mean, I was lucky that the Remnant 8s, what's now the Remnant 8s, the Invitation 8 started towards the end of my career, and certainly racing an 8 down the Henley course is something really special. I had some great races against America, against Canada. I was runner-up one year, won the next, and some of those, winning by canvas, we were down a length, we came through, and to be part of a real duel like that is one of my most sort of treasured memories of racing.
And I think that's the special thing about Henley, isn't it? Is those kind of gutbuster races where they're right to the line and you come into the enclosures and the crowd goes wild and you just, all that pain just seems to evaporate and you just get this uplift of energy.
Really exciting racing at the weekend. You've got to get through these early races in order to earn a race at the weekend.
And that's about being composure, not spending too many bullets through the rounds, progressing in the right manner. And that recovery element we spoke about earlier, getting that right every single day, because these crews are racing every day. They don't get a rest day, unfortunately, so it's pretty intense.
That's right. I think Michigan look in there as if they're really comfortable. They're not at a particularly high rating. They're doing their thing, and they'll be actually kind of using this race, I think, to sort of solidify the rhythm. They're not going to have to use all their extra gears.
And also, it's important for them. It's their first race down the full track, going through the markers, knowing where they are, being very clear about their moves and their pushes, because the more they can harness that, the less it needs to be spoken when those things are actually happening.
Exactly. You want to feel at home on this water. It's much more bouncy than most regattas you go to, and it can take some time. That can unsettle crews. So Wednesday is an important day to feel like you can own the course and deliver your rhythm on that course. And Michigan have been very dominant in doing that today.
So it's Michigan across the line there, ahead of Nottingham University in the heat of the Temple Challenge Cup.